doing today. I hope you're having a beautiful, thirsty Thursday. We are here at Here's the Tea, and today we have the lovely guest, the beautiful Teresa King. I'm super, super excited. For those who don't know who I am Tiara, aka T, your wine diva. And today we are going to be talking about connecting with other people. Some may call it networking. I think of it as like making new friends and making great connections. So, Teresa, can you please introduce yourself and tell us what you do?
Hello, everyone, and thank you so much, Tiara, for having me on. Super excited to visit about what you call, how did you describe networking?
Making new friends.
Making new friends. I always say get to know you. Networking is
Yeah.
get to know you circles. So even a circle to me can be, just two of us. You're always expanding your circle. I am Teresa King. I am a life transformational coach with a specialty in trauma recovery. So
Ooh.
I get people out of the ditch and back on track with a specialty in talking to and conversing about traumas. So that's really fun. Getting ready to have a dual certification in business. So it's a life and business certification December 13th. I'm so excited.
Yes.
Yeah.
That is amazing. Oh my gosh. So, how did you get into your career?
Oh my gosh, that's a cool story. Thank you for asking.
Yay! I
I
love stories.
I was a professional horse trainer until I was 30. I don't know if you knew that or not, but I retired at around 30 and then I got called out of retirement to teach young people. And so I had a 14-year-old student with an amazing horse, and she was phenomenal in the saddle, and they won a lot, but they didn't win consistently. And
Okay.
so I I was the coach and I had to figure out why,
Hmm.
why was she being taken out of the game? The same thing
Yeah.
we have to look at for us in life
Right.
and business. How are we being taken out of the game? So I took her to lunch and I asked her to make a list and I'd come back and we'd do lunch the next week. She's 14 years old. I said, I want you to tell me everything on that list that pisses you off. She was
Hmm.
like, okay. And she did her list and we had lunch the next week, and the biggest thing on there was her dad was an alcoholic, and it really upset her emotions when he didn't show up in life, you know and so she couldn't
Yeah.
count 24/7. So I said, can we talk about flipping that? And I said, you're 14, like you needed your mom and dad maybe 10 and under, but at
Right.
14, you're starting to design your own life. Now, if dad shows up, that's cherry on top. That's whipped cream. Hug
Oh,
him,
yes.
celebrate it, love him. But if he doesn't show up, you're still on track to win. And
Hmm.
designing your own life and your own mindset. You no longer need that outside influence. And that's something that we learn
Right.
as adults, not to count on outside influences for our happiness and for the design of our life. So that's kind of what triggered it, because she
Hmm.
started winning, like immediately started winning when she got clear on what was taking her out of the game. So that was pretty
Ooh.
exciting.
That's really exciting. That's some good stuff. And I know you go real deep and conversations and you ask such poignant questions, but I want to know who for you was like some of your most influential mentors along your journey through life and career.
I've worked for a lot of amazing people. I am so blessed in that way. I worked for a doctor who had created a technique, and that technique went on to be taught in two chiropractic colleges. So I worked for him for 10 years. So he was really my first boss, and I was his right hand man. And he taught on health, and of course a non-forceful technique called BEST, bioenergetic synchronization technique. But his big deal was we have six essentials in life: eat, drink, exercise, rest, breathe, and think. And then he said, listen to this: 98% of how our body functions is around the thinking and the thought processes. Yes, you need to eat good. Yes, you need to eat, drink good. Yes, you need to rest. Yes, you need to eat, drink, think. But 95, 98% of it is how we process traumas and dramas in our life and challenges, contrast. So I learned that early on. I didn't realize the value of it, right? And then I'm going to say another big mentor for me was a networking mentor. That's why I became a master networker. Her name was Marilyn. She was redheaded, flamboyant, extrovert, definitely. And I was in a bank management training program. And so every year I went to different departments. I mean, every 3 months, 60 days, 90 days, I went to different departments and I ended up marketing. And she takes me to this big networking meeting, and it was two chambers, like hundreds of people. And we're walking, we had to walk quite a ways. We're walking, and I guess I was breathing like, finally, she stops on the sidewalk and she was like, "What is wrong with you?" And she was fun and funny like you. I was like, "These people don't want to hear about our bank." That scares me, She was like, "Oh, Teresa, we're not going to talk about our bank. We're going to meet people and talk about their businesses." I was like, "What?" She was like, "Yeah, you don't even talk about the bank. You go meet people and learn about them and their business." I was like,
Ooh, that was
"Oh."
so good.
And I had a blast. It gives me goosebumps now because I was so hesitant in having
Mhm.
to push my bank on those people, internally.
Right.
But that's not networking. Networking is going out and meeting people and getting to know them and learning what sets them on fire and their passion and everything. She was a big influence. Uh,
Ooh, I love that.
I don't know. I've been around a lot of influential people. The latest is Virginia Shower, right? My
Of
coach,
course, of
our coach.
course.
We both, if you don't know, we both are graduating from coaching school. What is your dual certification, Tiara?
I am dueling in life and business.
Yeah,
So
me too. That's what I was thinking. I just didn't want to say it without
yes,
double
I
check.
love it. I love to focus on social media and giving people social media tips, as well as focusing on the camera, getting people comfortable on cameras so
Yes.
they can really share their message and get it out to the masses.
Yes. Do you do coaching and, like, I call them kitchen table tutorials, teaching people how to come on camera?
Mhm.
I love
I
that. I
love
thought you did. That's so
it.
helpful for people.
Mhm.
I love that.
Oh yeah, it feels so good. So in your live videos, I know you use this naughty button. I want to know the origin story of this naughty button.
I do. The naughty button has been semi-retired, I think. Okay, but how it came about, I was so, you're a coach and you teach this, but and I love that because I so needed it. Virginia helped me with it. I was so afraid to go live. And
Mhm.
when I got into the private coaching community and I started taking the master classes that are included in that, I discovered that I had an old trauma story that I didn't
Okay.
realize was a trauma at 8 years old. I sang the Star Spangled Banner, the national anthem, at a
Yeah.
big rodeo, and I'm 8.
Oh my
And
gosh.
out
It's a
of
hard
my
song.
peripheral, out of my peripheral vision, I saw 3 boys laughing, and my little 8-year-old self was like, I finished that song, but by the time I got to the vehicle, and I rocked it, I did good. When I got to the vehicle that night, I was like, "Daddy, I ain't never doing that again. Don't you even ask me." And I never sang again.
Oh
And
wow.
so when I get into this master class, I had struggled with public speaking and I had struggled with coming on live too. I mean, like,
Mhm.
petrified. And I'd worked my butt off, like in Toastmasters and stuff, to
Oh
try to
yeah.
get comfortable. And they say I was a good speaker, but I didn't like it. It didn't feel good. But when I did that homework, I discovered that 8-year-old story. And I, as an adult, could process that differently, right? And I was like, they could have
Mhm.
been farting or stepping on a frog or, hey,
Right.
girl, anything, right? And I took that
Right.
in all the way to the cellular level, and it affected, my speaking ability, and that healed in that moment, and I haven't had any trouble since. So then I start getting in touch with my soul. I never worked in soul work before, and that book, Meet Your
Mhm.
Soul by Elisa Romero, totally turned me on to soul work. Well, I realized in that work that my soul loves to be naughty.
Yes.
And I had always hidden that. That the only people that got to see me be naughty would be the people that went to the patio, and put our
Hmm.
feet up on the patio and had 3 beers or something. They got to
Right,
see the
right.
real Teresa, the real soulful Teresa. And so I decided I was going to honor my soul and just be a little naughty.
Yeah, of
And one of
course.
my
Be a
friends,
little
sent this to me in the mail. I was like, that is the cutest thing ever. But naughty to my soul, and I'll tell you, can I tell you? Can I do that on this show?
naughty. Go for it. Share your authentic truth, girl.
I just had this insider, internal, badass giggle when things like a meme would come up that my favorite meme made me laugh all the way to the bank was what the fuckity fuck. Now
I love it.
nobody got to see that side of me. So here all of a sudden I'm on camera using the naughty button going the fuckity fuck. That has
I love it.
subsided since, but it was a little growth I went through, and I had fun with it, and my soul loved it. So anytime I'm naughty, I'm always like Sophia Love is the one that said that.
Hmm.
And my southern
Hmm.
twang comes out too. My mom was from Florida. I always sit up straight. I was in banking and insurance. Dot them I's and cross those T's and speak correctly, right? Ah, fuck that. I just get to be me now, and I love it.
What else better to be? Yes. Oh my gosh. So, do you have any advice for anyone when they're trying to be more self-aware, to have more
More what? You cut out a little bit.
self-awareness, being able to come into themselves and start being able to recognize these little things?
Little nuances that we learn about each other. Is that what you're talking about? I missed part of it. It's cutting out.
I was saying, how do you have any advice on self-awareness?
Self-awareness.
Hmm.
Oh, yeah. I love this topic. Inner core confidence. I love talking about inner core confidence too. Whew. I'm a big believer in connecting with source. And when I first started in self development, I had a very traumatic and dramatic, chaotic life, like pistol held to my head and all that trauma stuff I'm not even around or exposed to these days. But 24 years ago, it was real for me in my life. I think that's why I'm so good at trauma recovery with people, because there ain't nothing they can tell me I hadn't been there and done that and seen that. But my mentor started me praying, and I was raised in church. But my mentor started me praying, and about a month and a half into it, I realized that I couldn't hold my own attention long enough to get through a prayer. My life was that chaotic. And so finally, about a month and a half later, I was like, we were talking. I was like, I can't pray.
Mm.
She was like, oh, that's no big deal. Just write to God. The God of my understanding, source, universe. I don't care. I'm not into labels. The God of my understanding. So she started me with a composition notebook. And this is how
Ooh.
jacked up I was. She said, just write, Dear God, and tell God about your day.
Hmm.
And I looked straight at her, Tiara, and said, what if nothing happened that day? That's how trauma ridden my life was. I was wanting to know,
Right.
what do I write if nothing happened that day? And
Hmm.
she was
Hmm.
like, this is how calm she was. Dear God, nothing really happened today. But she got me in conversation with higher power,
Yes.
you know? And when
Oh.
I started to build trust and really converse, you know, I there are spiritual awakenings that happen. And
Hmm. Hmm.
the first ones that happened for me, I went to a house party with a date, and they were treating me like crap, and I was getting ready to make an ass out of myself. This is This is way before self-development. So I go upstairs and I get in the walk-in closet and I get on my knees. And I was in a spiritual circle and I said, they told me if I got on my knees and I asked you to help me, that you would. And I said it over and over and over again. And all of a sudden I felt relief, like I'm not going to go make a big scene at this party, right?
Mhm.
And I went downstairs and I waved to everybody, gotta go, I see you guys later. And I went and got my car. And when I took a hold of the steering wheel, it was like, oh my God, I do have a God. Yeah. And that's one of my clients
Yeah.
said that to me today. I am not alone. I finally got it,
Mhm.
Teresa. I'm not alone ever. Oh,
Ever. Oh my gosh. That's beautiful. I love that. And I feel like that's a nice little turn into talking a little bit about networking because we're not alone. And there's so many people out there that we can converse with and get to know a little bit better. So, how did you become comfortable with networking? Like, I know you were mentioning with your mentor, she said, we're learning about other people. Is that kind of when you started feeling comfortable, or did it take a little bit more practice?
no, that was it. All you got to do is get out of self and get into others, and you'll have a blast.
Hmm.
And I kind
Hmm.
of made it a game at first. Like, I had a little friend named Carrie, and we met at the front door at networking meetings. And I treated it like a business, Tiara, in that I showed up on time. I went in, and my main focus was to look for other people that might be uncomfortable.
Ooh.
And I go straight to them because I know what that shit feels like. And I go straight
Oh
to
yeah.
them and I'll say, are you new? Or I'm new. I'm
Hmm.
Teresa. Are you new? And all of a sudden we'll be talking and then I'll say, let's go talk to that guy. He's by himself. Let's go meet him. And pretty soon we got 3 or 4 or 5 people that are pretty new and we had a blast. Then you show up the next time, and those people run to you like, "Hey, Teresa, I'm so glad you're here." And then we start looking for people to engage in again. Because when you first walk into networking, it can feel kind of cliquish. That's because those people have been gathering there.
Right. Right.
So I break up that
Right.
clique by talking to the people outside of the clique and creating our own clique, and then we create energy, and other people
Hmm.
want into that clique. I'm not a proponent of clicking inclusion, and you can create your own inclusion energy. Does that make sense?
That makes perfect sense. I
And I
love
loved
that.
it.
That's
I
really
loved
good.
it. Mhm.
For people like, I know for me, because like I was one of those people when I go networking events, I get like nervous or I'm like, I don't know what to say. I don't know what to say. And what are some questions that do you have like, like 5 questions that you can just keep in your pocket to like fire off and start a conversation, or do you just naturally, it just kind of flows out?
I keep it pretty natural. Like, I
Hmm.
love your earrings. Tell me about those earrings, girl. That's awesome. You give you an opportunity
Ooh.
to talk about your earrings, right? And
Hmm.
and that earring story goes into wine and goes into your passion. I'm like, oh, and
Hmm.
I would be like, oh my God, I have got to learn more about this. Do you have a card? You want people to
Hmm.
ask you for your card. So I would get your card and put it in my pocket. I would not give you mine
Ooh.
unless you ask.
I love that. I mean, I know for me, because in terms of like playing cards, I really regret a phone call from anyone. I just like give them my card. But I know when I have someone's card, I have the power to reach out and make that connection. Either send them an email afterwards and connect. Do you have a good follow up like after this event or after this networking meeting? Like, how do you reconnect with them and kind of start more conversation?
I'll tell you exactly how I did it. I had postcards made that were me, my personality. Like I was sitting up against a wall with my legs stretched out in blue jeans, and they were almost like photos.
Hmm.
And of course, they had a return address on them, and I wrote in a Sharpie, like a tiny Sharpie. Uh, Met you last night. We must do coffee. Big love, Teresa.
Ooh.
And I'd send it next day to the ones I wanted to meet specifically.
Right.
And that lands on their desk in 2 or 3 days. They're like, that is the coolest, that's a cool thing. And so They usually call me or email me, and we'd set a coffee time.
Mhm.
That's kind of older than what we're doing now online. But if you want to really get
Right.
someone's attention, get those postcards and land right in their lap.
Ooh,
Mm,
that's ooh, feels so good. It's different. It stands out really, and
yes.
it's gonna be memorable. And I love that you said there's a picture of you. They know exactly like who you are just by looking at that postcard. That's so good. So I'm gonna invite anyone watching, tuning in right now. If you have questions for Teresa, please drop it below. We'd love to get those answered. So taking it from this in-person connecting, how do you bring that connection on social media?
You are the master of that. I do the same thing. I really do the same thing. I do not go out and network with people that I don't feel called to, but I
Mhm.
look for people that stand out, people that like, there's one little girl that came into our social soul tribe not too long ago. I am the one who spotted her doing a live on social media. I was like, oh my gosh, do you have a tribe? You're such a great teacher. And she said, I
Mhm.
really don't. I'm not that into social media. She kind of rejected or resisted. I was like, girl, you need
Okay.
a tribe. I want to invite you to my tribe if you're interested. I didn't just invite her. I was like, you need
Right.
tribe. I want to invite you, but I don't want to if you don't want to.
Right. Of
And
course.
so she was like, sure. And so I said, okay. When you come in there, you got to answer the questions, and you got to,
Mhm.
put in your referral, which would be Teresa, and then let me know you're there. And I want to introduce you to our people in the tribe, right? And so she did,
Mm,
and she's taken off and had a blast. But she needed tribe.
that's amazing.
Yeah.
Yes, you need to try it. That's so good. So for people that are maybe they already are a part of Tribe and they're starting to see people coming in, what are some good ways to be inclusive, show people around, um, make them feel comfortable?
Mm. I think when you actually have a guest that comes into tribe with us, just to set aside a time, send them your calendar link and get
Mhm.
get on a phone call and walk them through the things that are available. We have
Right.
lots of really valuable free stuff, right? And a lot of times
Mhm.
when people invite you into groups, you don't know all that. Like in Social
Right.
Soul Tribe, our units is pretty full of some valuable nuggets, right?
Oh, so good
All
stuff.
those
Some
nuggets
good
add up to
stuff.
gold when it comes to building your business. And then a lot of people don't know that we have a private coaching community that is
Mhm.
super affordable. I mean, that's the one I was talking about with all the master classes where I discovered all this cool stuff about myself.
Mhm.
And that's when my business took off, when I got in touch
Oh
with
yeah.
my soul and started being myself. People love that.
Mhm.
Not all people, all the right
And if they
people.
don't love it, the right people, you're
All the
gonna get
right
your
people.
your people. Yes, yes. I love it. And to talk a little bit more about the Social Soul Tribe and the Speakeasy, that's one of the things that really stood out to me was not only like the just amount of amazing content and education, but also the opportunity to have a one-on-one conversation with someone. I've spent money here, there, and everywhere to learn how to do social media and learn how to build my business online and all of that. And a lot of it's generic content. And because that's the only way you can really teach to the masses, right? But when you're able to sit and talk with someone and like really speak about your business, but not just your business, about what's going on in your life and your truth and like the resistance that you might be facing. Like you might have like some little backstory that you've been telling yourself. And once you unlock that, the next thing you know, it's actually connected to your business. And when you let that go, all of these doors start to open and all this abundance starts to rush in. And that's what I love about our tribe.
Yes, understanding the energy of abundance, the energy of opening yourself up allows so much to flow in from the vortex, right? We clamp that off when we get tight and uptight, right? It's like kinking a
Oh yeah.
water hose, it doesn't flow. Then we're knocking our head against the wall, going, "What's going on? Well, you're not being you.
Mhm.
Well, how do you be you? I don't know how to be me." And that's what we teach, right? And everybody's different. And there's so
Mhm.
many different businesses and experts in there. It's not cookie cutter. We really get into the
No.
nitty gritty of each other's personalities and how each other's businesses flourish from that core foundational personality, energy, fun, all that good stuff.
Mm.
Did
It
I see Lauren
feels
jumping
so
on?
good.
I can't see comments very often. I see Lauren. I think I did.
Yeah, I see Lachelle, Cheryl, Melissa, Nicole. Hello,
Hey,
beautiful ladies. Thank you so
thank
much
you
for
guys for
joining us
being
this
on.
evening.
I didn't.
So, where do hmm?
I didn't say a minute ago. I'm an introvert. Did you know that?
Really?
Yes.
I would never believe that.
Yes. So
But
highly sensitives and introverts kind of, until I learned to do better, I really had to come home and hide. Then I could go back
Mhm,
out. I'd come
mhm,
home and hide to rejuvenate, recharge my batteries. But it doesn't do that anymore as I become more soulful. It
mhm.
doesn't drain me like it used to.
Yeah, it's kind of interesting. Like I would always say that I'm like an introverted extrovert, but I think it's ambivert is what is the proper term. But sometimes it's like, all right, cool. I can be like extremely outgoing in a group full of people, and then sometimes I feel like I could be in a room and feel so alone. Especially like networking for me was always kind of like I like to be naughty, and I never felt like I was in the right room. you know, the right room of people whenever I went to like an official like business thing. I'm like, I'm the wine girl. Like I'm here to have some fun. It's
Yeah.
9 o'clock in the morning. This is way too early for me. Like, what am I doing here? In a suit and all this kind of stuff. And I just didn't feel right. But there was always that person that was just like Teresa who would come up and say, "You look new. Are you new?" And like that's what I needed. And I needed that. I needed that tribe, but you also have to kind of figure out who you are and who you connect with, and then and be open to talking to people.
Yeah, if you keep going, that tribe gets really strong
Mhm.
and you have a blast for that hour. Now, remember, I treated it like a business. Hour later, I'm out. See you guys.
Yep.
And I
I
went to
don't.
my car and I had my cards that I wanted to follow up on.
Mhm.
Marilyn, that taught me, would go in the bathroom and record. If she had a hot client, she would record. His son's name is Bo. He's in such and such college. His dog's name is Dixie, or his
Mhm.
dog is Dixie. I mean, details. Then on her little note, she was like, "You tell Bo at such and such college, blah 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 blah." I mean, she got real personal, and people flocked to her,
I
flocked
that
to her.
It shows that she cares. It's more than like, because she took the time, she listened, she took those notes, and that shows more of a connection. It's more than just, okay, hi, I'm whatever. What do you do? I don't know if I can connect with you right now. Moving on to the next person. It really shows, okay, I'm talking to you, I'm listening to you, I'm asking you questions, I'm learning about your life. You can learn about my life at a later date because I'm going to reconnect with
Yes.
you.
Yes. Wait till you go to coffee. Then
Mm,
you can talk about your stuff.
mm,
But in that social scene, get them talking. Yeah, it's
mm.
fun. I love it. I love it now, and I despised it. Like,
It's so good. So, where should we be looking to connect with other people, find new people, both offline and online?
oh, offline in your community, I'm going to tell you to create your own circle. But
Oh,
I love BNI. But if you go to BNI and you meet people, or you go to here, we have something called Mob Masters of Business.
okay.
And it's similar to BNI, your Chamber of Commerce after hours. I helped start a networking meeting 18 years ago called WIN, Women in Networking, and it's
Ooh,
still thriving. It only holds 100 people. It's a lunch meeting. It's all women and a waiting list now, 18 years later. So, yeah. So you can start your own circle, something like that in your community. I would first go out and gather your tribe and say, "Hey, tribe, would y'all
hmm,
like to do this?" And create um, a circle just specifically with those kind of people, right?
hmm.
Like you definitely want a night tribe,
Oh yes, I
you
definitely want a
know?
nighttime.
Yeah.
For
You're
sure.
you're still networking, you're still looking for business people to come into your night tribe.
Hmm.
This is sounding kind of good.
Oh yeah.
Businesses come into your night tribe. Also, I look for businesses that complement each other,
Hmm.
you know? So, what would that be? The real estate agent really likes to build relationships with restaurant owners or coffee
Hmm.
shop owners, so they cross market. The coffee shop's always giving them 3 little gift cards to give to their clients,
Right,
right?
right.
So they really can really support each other, complementary. And so look for people that complement your business. What'd you ask me? What was the question?
Uh, Melissa was asking what's BNI, and I know it's Business Networking International, correct?
Yes, it's in every city, really. BNI, Business Networking International. It cost about $500 to join.
Hmm.
I'm telling you, when I joined BNI, the first year I made $18,000 because their sole mission is to refer to you.
Hmm.
So they get to know you so they can refer to you. And that's how we are in the tribe. We'd like to get to know you so we can refer you, right?
Oh, oh yes. And thinking about BNI, so I'm going to bring up that we have our own kind of our own networking circle. So we've started Soul Networking, Soul Biz Networking. You can join us on Friday mornings. It's 6:30 p.m. Pacific time, 8:30 Central, 9:30 Eastern. And it's all on Zoom. So you have the opportunity to come up, speak for about a minute, talk about yourself, your soul's business, what you got going on, share a little bit with us, and you can hear everybody else. And then we have a moment of just pure bliss to really connect our souls, which I really love, and we get to highlight someone in the community as well. So it's a beautiful, beautiful, beautiful just way to start my day.
That's a
uh,
very cool networking meeting.
it's a very cool networking meeting, and you can wear your pajama pants because it's virtual.
What is it? Dress from the top and party down below or something?
Yes, business on top, party down below.
Thank
I love
you.
it. I
I
love
just
it.
screw up the
So
best jokes.
if you guys want to be able to join that, please send one of us a message and we can get you the link and you can hop on. It's tomorrow morning. So yeah,
It's
about 12 hours
free. It's
and it's
free.
free.
Every Friday morning, we all get together and have
Free.
a blast.
It's so good. Um, Yes, yes. But I love, so you were talking about BNI, and I know one of those things is just like not just the speaking to everyone in the group for 30 seconds and like leaving, but it's also the connections you make afterwards. It's going out for coffee and really, really connecting one on one so that you can make those referrals. And the more you talk to each other, the more you get to know people. That's the more they know, like, and trust you. That's when they're more likely to start sending referrals your way. And I think that's exactly what we're trying to build in our own tribe is let's take time. Let's, get a virtual coffee or virtual glass of wine and really get to know one another.
Yes, it is not the networking meeting. The networking meeting is just to meet the people. Then
Hmm.
you go sit one on one together so you can visit.
Hmm.
That's the
Hmm.
best part.
That's the best part. So
I
I'm gonna
love
put this out
that.
here and encourage, if you're joining us on Soul Biz Networking, find someone that you don't really know that well and you listen to their story and you're like, they sound like a really cool person. And send them a message. Send them a message afterwards and say, hey, let's connect. I want to get to know you. Can we get on the phone? Can we FaceTime? Can we something,
Yeah.
whatever, and really get to know them.
Every week you come back. Every week you come back. Every week you meet someone new. Every week you get to know something new about someone that you didn't
Hmm.
know. It just builds. All of a sudden, look at us. We're going on a retreat together in January.
I
Oh
know
my
Melissa's
God.
cruising with us. Who else is cruising with us? Cheryl.
Daryl, uh, Melissa, Nicole. Who else was on?
Uh,
Lauren. Lauren better block that calendar next year. She's a uh, hairstylist, so she has to block
mhm.
that calendar.
Block that calendar out. No bookings that week, and we're gonna party it up. I love it.
I'm so excited.
I'm so excited. It's gonna be
I've
a good
never been
time.
on a cruise.
It's been a long time. Oh wow, it's been. I think I was like 14, 15 when I did it. So I'm 30 now. So it's
Yeah.
half my life ago.
Tiara, a year ago or a year and a half ago when we met, who'd have thought we were going to be on a boat together?
Would never thought. Oh my gosh.
Now
It's
that is fun,
amazing.
y'all.
It's amazing what we've all built together. And it's a beautiful, beautiful place. I love it. I'm so excited.
I know, me too.
Mhm. All right. Well, thank you so much for your time, Teresa. Is there anything else that you would like to share before we hop off?
I have two
Ooh,
favorite quotes having to do with networking. Do you care if I share?
I love it. I want you to share.
Okay. The first one is there are no strangers here on planet Earth.
Mm.
Only friends you haven't met yet.
Mm,
There are no strangers here, only friends you haven't met yet.
that
And
feels so
the
good.
other one is I was raised in Bentonville, Arkansas, which is the home of Walmart. This is
Mhm.
Sam Walton's wife. He made Walmart,
Mhm.
founder of Walmart. She says it's not what we gather, but what we scatter that tells what kind of life we live.
Mm,
So go out and scatter your
mm,
stuff.
mm. I love
Yeah.
that.
I love you, big. Mwah!
Love you, Big.
Thanks
Thank
for
you
having
so,
me
so
on.
much. Please, if you can make it tomorrow, I would love to see you guys on Soul Biz Networking. Have a beautiful rest of your Thirsty Thursday. And if I don't see you throughout the weekend, catch you next week.
Yes. Thanks,
Love you, Big.
everybody. Love
Mwah.
you, big.
Thank you.
Mwah! Bye.
Bye.